Look at this, it's so difficult, so much setup. But yeah, that looks pretty good. That's pretty clean. We're gonna overlay the edge a little bit. Pixel at the top. Oh yeah, you're right. Let me crop that. Ooh, did I get it? All right, nice. I think we cropped it cleanly. Cleanly. So this is gonna be Alpha Sydney versus Denial. What were they calling it? WCS3 VOD review. I'll call it that. So this is going to be the very first VOD review. We're going to review probably every game except the losers round 1, because I can't review everything. Well, also I don't really want to review those games. I don't really want to. Worst matchup? No, this match was actually sick. This match was actually really sick. It was very good. But yeah, I think we're good to get started here. So let's not delay. Let me know about the volume, guys. I'm only going to be looking at trusted people, because I'll leave the sound on in the background a little bit. But when I speak, you should only be able to really hear me. It's kind of like just background noise, because it's awkward without it. And I can hear it as well. This has all just been uploaded. Why is it Jamesville? How dare you? I can't believe you would say that. I can't believe that. I'll put it up a little bit. There we go. Turn it up a little bit. Okay, Tussie.
Who made a bold one just now?
Oh, B-roll. Look at the camera. No. Hey, Adam88, thank you for the resub.
Thanks for the awesome content. 5 months hype.
Also, J Space Dog, 4 months. Welcome back to you also. Tar Saucy. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Unicorn more YouTube awesome mode.
So for anybody who doesn't know what this is, who's watching this and thinking, what is a VOD review? Well, a VOD review is where I sit down with you guys and we rewatch a high-level game in Rocket League, well, presumably, and we'll review things that we see. We'll talk about strategy, we'll talk about maybe the presentation. We'll just talk about anything that you guys want to talk about. I'll be looking at my chat a lot more during this than I usually do when I'm casting on stream. So if you want to talk to me, just tag me at JohnnyBoy in chat, and then I'll try and read everything. I can't promise to read everything though. If I'm explaining something and something disappears in the chat, then I might not be able to reply. But this is the very first time that we have seen, or this is from the very first time that we saw an Australian team against a non-Australian team in a LAN environment in Rocket League 3v3, so it's very interesting. I was able to see them practice backstage. And I did think that Alpha Sydney had the edge here. Most people, of course, thought that Denial were going to win just by virtue of being a non-Australian team. Let's check. Is this in the highest quality possible? Oh wait, it's not in the highest quality possible. Maybe I can put it up here. Wait, sorry for the pause. We're going to try and watch this in HHD. Does that even work if I'm not full screen? I don't know. We'll leave it on that because it might be higher quality. Pretty risky kickoff from Alpha Sydney. I remember seeing this and I was wondering why on earth didn't they leave someone back on the first kickoff, and then they did the exact same thing again. If you're gonna do that, if you're gonna vacate the goal in 3v3, it's so important that your kickoff man is very good at not keeping the ball in the middle, and the way to do that is just getting the first touch and not hitting the middle of the ball. Try to be unpredictable as well, because if you make it obvious, then your opponent could get opposite you and try to neutralize your hit. But it seems like Alpha Sydney didn't have that down, because they just saw we just saw the same kickoff twice, nearly 2-0 lead for Denial. But overall, from watching these two guys scrim backstage, it was clear to me that Alpha Sydney, they had better rotation than Denial. By that I mean they were just better at intercepting Denial's clears, They were better at putting the ball into awkward positions, in denials, end of the field, just to keep denial in defense. Great boost control of the midfield from Alpha Sydney for the most part. And the very first time, I think of their first scrim in the US was actually against us, Flipside Tactics. I say us because I was there with them as their manager. Apologies for everybody who gets triggered by me saying us, but I don't even think about it, it just happens. But the very first scrim that, series that they played was against Flipside Tactics, and I think that Flipside were able to win 9 out of the first 11 games. They were able to win 9 out of the first 11 games, which it looked to me like Alpha Sydney hadn't really seen a team that were able to pass as well as Flipside. They weren't defending their back post very well. They were often getting clogged up at the near post in offense, and then Cuxmarky Greasy would just make a pass across field, and it would be a free shot every single time. But as the week went on, we scrimmed them more, and moving into RLCS, even at the venue, the Wiltern backstage, we were scrimming them again, and they were much, much better at defending against that strategy. Flipside were still able to beat them, but they were getting much better at defending against passes, spreading out in defense, covering angles that perhaps don't get exploited as much in OCE. There you go, another very good pass, center. Should have perhaps been a goal. Should have perhaps been a goal. That's something that Alpha Sydney did much better than Denial this series, is they were so quick to exploit the backboard. They often were able to just hit the backboard and then follow up before Denial would be there to defend. One of the weaknesses of Denial certainly is their backboard. Their goal was often heavily defended, but the backboard was not. What influence did it have that all of Alpha Sydney used Dominus? The main difference between Octane and all of the other cars that make appearances at LANs, which is Dominus, Batmobile, Breakout is another car that sees some play. The main difference is the height of the car. Not just the height of the hitbox, but the height that the Octane sits off the ground is much, much taller than the longer cars that have low profile. And what does that mean? It means that you're not as likely to drive under the ball, you're not as likely to scoop the ball too high on a ground shot, you're not as likely to miss a pop or a cut in field, and generally you're just less likely to miss the ball. And the advantages of the Dominus is that you can reach further with aerials. So let's say you fly too far to the side, you can reach that tiny little bit further than an Octane can. It's also very clear what part of the ball you're going to hit the car, or what part of the ball you are going to hit with your car when you get a long run up or a long flight up to it. So players often prefer, like, they think that they're more precise with longer cars, which is probably true. Octane, especially if you're zoomed out, like if your camera's very zoomed out like Corrupted's right there, can be hard to be precise with, because you're never 100% sure, unless you put like 10,000 hours into the game, what part of the ball you're going to be hitting with your hitbox. Yeah, the longer cars, very intuitive hitboxes, and I feel like the reason why we see so much Dominus in OCE is playing to Alpha Sydney's offensive strategy in particular. What's their main offensive strategy? Backboard. They love to hit the backboard, they love to attack the backboard early, and with a Dominus you can adjust mid-flight, and you can also guarantee an accurate hit once you arrive, more so than an Octane. But then when it comes to ground play, infield passing, and just solo plays, none of their playstyles really would have favored Octane very much, because these guys, especially, or Alpha Sydney in particular, I spotted a few of them dribbling with ball cam on, which I've been a big critic of in the past, but in 3v3 dribbling with ball cam on is not as bad as it is in 1v1. The reason being, in 1v1 you often need to change which side of the ball you're on a lot during your dribble. In 3v3 it's more of a matter of getting the ball from the ground to the top of your car and doing something with it as fast as possible. And if you're never going to change side, the ball won't make your car, or the ball cam won't make you helicoptering motions around your car. It'll just sit looking at the ball on one side, and oftentimes you can see over the top of the ball better, because it leans forward to look down at the ball and you can see what's behind it. But it is much easier to flick with long cars if you leave ball cam on. Hey, Flow1001, thanks for the 8 months. How was the LAN? It was great. It was phenomenal. That's my short answer to a short question. Loved it. I don't know if I missed any subs. J Space Dog, did I shout you out? Needs more YouTube awesome mode. Oh yeah, this is YouTube that I'm watching on. Did I spell it right? Video from Rocket League Esports on YouTube? Yes, it is. It is spelled correctly. Having ball come on is good to see when someone is challenging. Occasionally it is. It's occasionally. Situationally, having ball cam on is good to see when somebody's challenging, if they're literally opposite which side, if they're opposite you. Like if you're here, the ball is here, and the other player's on the opposite side, then ball cam's going to look over the ball to see them. But if they're not opposite you, let's say that you're dribbling the ball to the right and the other player's to your left collecting boost, and you want to be able to see what they're doing, sometimes turning ball cam off or flicking it to the left is going to give you a better view of what they're doing.
Which could have been a big thing, but 8% is a lot. Usually good teams sit around the 30% margin there at 30, and then I was down at...
But yeah, game one, pretty much, Alpha Sydney had a couple of good chances, hit the bar. We're going to see more of that, spoiler alert. Alpha Sydney loved the crossbar. I think at one point I asked
2 months and
somebody
I still
beside
can't
me in
think
this,
of anything witty to say.
in the crowd rather, if Alpha Sydney were actually just 3 greasies because they were blasting the bar so much. And yeah, some very questionable kickoff strategies from Alpha Sydney as well. It's noteworthy. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. It's just risky to take the boost in both back corners simultaneously and face off. But if you do it, make sure that you have someone who can, on the face-off, who can at least 99% of the time guarantee the ball isn't going to stay centered. Because Denial showed that they like cheating. They love cheating. And of course, Octanes are great for cheating because you can get a first touch to pop the ball so easily. And we have 2 Octanes on Denial, Lethamyr and Corrupted. It's a good pass out of defense from Lethamyr there. Looks like Sad Jr. crept up a little bit. Good save though. Another high shot from in front of the net. And for... That's a rare waste by Torsos. Alpha Sydney are usually pretty good at popping the ball. They also love to do that. They love to just smash the ball straight into the sidewall. Be on the lookout for that. Alpha Sydney love to just hit the ball straight sideways. Or at least a little bit forward, but mostly sideways. To get it up in the middle. What do I say about the crowd? Feeling they were really unhyped for the EU games? Yeah, the crowd could definitely cheer just more in general. I thought it was a good crowd whenever Rogue or NRG were playing. But besides that, or Alpha Sydney as well, they cheered a lot for Alpha Sydney. But for EU versus EU games, the crowd were a little bit salty that EU or that NA weren't playing. Look at that, 1 crossbar, 2 crossbar, 3 crossbar. We're actually going to see another one, I believe. There we go, another crossbar, because we've not had enough crossbars. That last one a little bit unfortunate, but there definitely should have been a goal there for Alpha Sydney. The accuracy is lacking, but you saw there their offensive rotation is pretty on point. They're coming in at the ball one by one, attacking it early, hitting the ball hard. All good things. Again, I can't guarantee that I'll spot your comment in the chat, guys. I'll try. What is cheating on kickoff? Cheating on kickoff is when you move forward into the position immediately behind your man who's doing the face-off, and you're hoping that the ball's not going to go very far on the initial impact, and you could be the first on the scene. That's cheating. You can cheat at any stage of Rocket League though, not just kickoffs. You can also cheat mid-game. You see a 50-50 is about to go down and you move up, hoping that it's going to be a neutral 50-50. Great aerial by Lethamyr here. This is really well done. No doubt Lethamyr was the standout player for Denial. It's a good pass by Corrupted, but there's a lot of work to be done. Lethamyr was quick. Very, very quick there. Accurate finish. Alright, have a good dinner, King Spectre. See you after if you come back. But I was pretty worried. I called that Alpha Sydney were going to win this, and although they've had a lot of pressure, a lot of possession, it wasn't looking too good. That would have been better to pass this ball for Tarsos. I'll rewind this because it's actually worth watching again. So we see Corrupted going for a pass, contested. Tarsos' hit should have gone to Jake, or at least not gone straight into the midfield, because this is something that we used to see a lot more in competitive Rocket League, where people would just panic when the ball is close to their net, and we can't deny the ball is close to Tarsos' net, but he should know that he's getting the first touch, and he can just pass that to Jake, and then Jake can get a much better clear ball, higher, more powerful, or take a first touch and dribble if he wants to, and Jake had some nice dribbling moves. So this should have been a pass, for sure, to Jake. He just, Tarsos conceding possession right there pretty meaninglessly. He does follow up with a challenge, but, you know, it could have been better. We see 2 50-50s back to back. That's certainly not as favourable as a free clear for Jake. Oh, okay, Jake shouldn't be going up for that because it was clear Corrupted would beat him too if he went off the wall. But then Corrupted missed anyway. Tarsos having a pretty shaky game here. A couple of wasted centre ball opportunities, wasted possession and defense. Did I do VODs reviews for Season 2? No, I did not. Because I was just doing a ton of casting on my stream back then. I guess I could speak a bit to that. So the reason I didn't do VOD reviews in Season 2 is because I wanted to improve my casting. I felt like, analysis-wise, I was probably up there with anyone else in the world in terms of analysis and color casting, and just like in general understanding the game from a spectator standpoint. But my casting probably wasn't. It probably wasn't as good as some of the other casters in Rocket League, particularly some of the RLCS casters. So I wanted to get better at that, so I just casted a lot. What a clear by Sad! Oh my goodness, he could, if he hit that a little bit later, would have gone really far. He clanged it, but it hit the ceiling. Post again for Alpha Sydney. Oh, I don't think Drippy didn't read that miss. There's quite a few misses from Sad. Finally, the goal comes in. I remember this. The crowd went wild for that. I lost my voice. I don't lie. I was cheering for Alpha Sydney this game. I wanted to see OCE win a series, so I was cheering. Oh. It's a nice post-game or post-goal celebration right there. Johnny Boy, you're the best caster. Well, it's up to, that's something that people will always have debates over, is who the best caster is, because it's not something you can really quantify. It's not something you can really quantify. Oh, Drippy. There's a good pass by his teammate, but Drippy not able to find the hit. I think Drippy, going into this, was, for me, definitely the best player in OCE, but his teammates stepped up. Torsos and Jake. They really stepped up. It was a team effort for Alpha Sydney. They all did really well, compared to what people expected from them. Use that as a pass up to Corrupted G, trying to take the shot. No contact there from Corrupted G. And now Jake to try and move it down the field. Do you think Rogue vs Energy would have had a different outcome at line if they faced off? No, I think Rogue would have got smashed. Rogue would have got smashed. Probably. Ooh. Tarsos jumps the wrong way. It's clutch by Jake though. They're gonna try and keep the pressure up. They don't want to let Corrupted, instead of going for a shot on net there, would have been better popping it into the crossbar, because he was first man forward, and by shooting, he just kind of gives it to Jake. But excuse me, if he popped it into the crossbar, we've already seen what Lethamyr can do from the air. If Lethamyr backs it up, he's gonna attack that early, hit it really hard. Putting these VOD reviews on YouTube? Yeah, of course, of course. I mean, my YouTube audience have been asking for this, so I'll absolutely put this on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube content for, or Twitch content rather, for the coming week is going to be VOD reviews, a couple of 1v1s, maybe a free-for-all. Lots of recovering from a cold. This game actually has more denial possession than I remember. I remember this being very consistent pressure for Alpha Sydney, but Denial have actually had a lot of chances. It's a good job by Jake just getting out the way there, making sure Tarsos can move forward. Not the best shot by Leth, again, just getting it straight down to his opponent. Half volley by Alpha Sydney was able to get that clear. Drippy can't resist but touch that ball on the way in, but they're so consistent at rotating out. Every time that somebody in Alpha Sydney attacks the ball, they always rotate out, which is an advantage in terms of team communication, because they know, let's say Drippy goes in for a shot, or a center ball, both Tarsos and Jake know he's going to rotate out, so they already know what he's going to do. They don't have to watch and wait and listen in comms to see if he rotates back in quickly, just because they always make that rotation, so I do like that. Hey Freeze, thanks for the 9 months by the way. What are we gonna call our baby, dude? Here we go, that same again what I said. They love hitting the ball off the sidewall, but they know that. Like going into the tournament, not many teams would have known that that's a tendency of Alpha Sydney to just blast the ball into the side of the field. But if they know that, they can follow up.
Is it just me that does Drippy sounds like an STD?
Does Drippy sound like an STD? It actually does. It actually does. Tarsos again, kind of just giving it away here. He was able to follow up himself. But a lot of the time Tarsos has this series, or this game, hit the ball away from his team when he's had time to take a touch or pass. Great save by Jake. Jake has been MVP defense, and then Drippy as well. That could have been over for game 2 right there. Again, no attempt to pass the ball across the field from Alpha Sydney there. They had time, no one was pressuring the ball from Denial, and they were still eager to clear it as fast as possible.
going in, but just being there on defense, they seem to have.
Can I put on music or something? This is so plain. No, you could put on music if you want to. I don't want to put on music and mute the VOD and mute my or get my YouTube video copyright claimed. So you can if you want music, listen to your music. Anyone can listen to their own music to this. Or if you want some nice background noise, shout out to rainymood.com for being my background noise of choice when I was at university. It's just like the sound of rain and thunder. Rainymood.com, check it out guys, it's very interesting. There we go. Win for Alpha Sydney, the crowd favourites in the matchup, despite the fact that they're against an American team. It's because everybody wanted the underdog to win. Misplay by Lethamyr, you should have challenged that. Sad Jr. was trying to collect boost behind him. Look at how hype. Look at how hype AS are. It's beautiful. Sellout. They don't sponsor me, how am I sellout? When you play LAN, you just stop passing so you lose, says Tarsos. So we lose, says Tarsos. Yeah, well, every team I think at this point in Rocket League probably plays worse on LAN. Except Flipside Season 2 Grand Finals was probably close to what they can play online. Northern Gaming Day 3 of Season 3 was close, if not better than their
using all of
offline.
my Prime subscriptions for your stream. Worth it every time, smile.
Hey G, Double RXP, thank you for the 3 months. Thanks for using all the Twitch Primes right here. Important win for Alpha Sydney. If nothing else, they did really well that series to not lose focus in defense. Because I'm sure they more than anybody knew that they had to win that. Because they're at LAN, they're probably not going to have the most consistent game 3, 4, 5. They need to win early at the first 2 games. They're able to hold on and do it. IBP Season 1 played better online. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Offline, you mean. Pretty much the winners of every LAN has been the one team that's played better offline than online. Selfie John, thank you for the sub. Appreciate that, buddy. Rainy Mood is awesome. Always listen to it when you're learning for exams. Yeah, it's awesome. I love it. Do you think Turbo will start now? I have no idea. I have no idea. The thing about NG is that they won the LAN with Turbo, but they also won online with Maestro. Now the next thing they're going to do is play online qualification for RLCS and maybe play some LANs, so maybe they stay as a 4-man. Lethamyr should have passed that back to Corrupted. This angle's always going to get covered. It's a good job by Lethamyr. And in this position, well done by Corrupted to pass this. If Lethamyr can pass that back to Corrupted, Jake is screwed. I don't know. He probably could have passed it. The shot needs to go high or it's never going in. I think a pass back would have been a goal though.
Pregnancy is the time during which offspring develops inside a woman. Childbirth occurs around over 9 months from the last menstrual period, LMP. So here I am.
Nashia, thank you for the 9-month resub. It's quite a lot of babies today. That's another one. Welcome back, buddy. It's not something that when I criticize teams for not passing, it's not something that I'm identifying as something that only they do wrong. I'm sure that every team could pass better on LAN. Even Flipside, the best passers in the game, weren't passing very well this LAN. See James Bot saying Turbo too good not to start. Yeah, he played really well. He had a great LAN. They're in a tough spot. I'm sure they could do some experimentation. I'm sure they're going to do some experimentation. As long as they have Devo, they're going to be fine. Like Devo's the best in the world right now. So I currently have a job. My job currently is YouTube, Twitch, you know, doing some consulting for various websites and organizations in Rocket League, getting casting and analysis gigs here and there. I'm looking to invest in certain things, so that's where my money comes from. Oof. Jake forced into that save. Tarsos with a weak aerial 50-50. Well played by Drippy right there. That was sick. Jake actually nearly gives it right to his opponent, but he did well to fly after it. That's something that's so annoying when you're playing against a car like the Dominus or the Batmobiles. Like, they're so good at flying after the ball and paddling it. So you can't just punish weak aerials. No one could deny that RLCS Season 1 and 3, two teams that use substitutes won. Like, being able to adapt is very important in Rocket League. Some teams have gone into LAN and had one player play really badly. Well played by Sad Jr. there.
They go for the pass play. Goes into the corner. But the lack of an immediate shot will allow Alpha City to get set back up on defense.
We've seen very, very few grounded plays. This has been an aerial dominated series so far.
Here's Johnny.
Excuse me. My cold is still messing with me. Snapback 69, thanks for the 7 months, by the way.
Another shot on target. Jake not able to put it in his denials. Lethamer able to clear it away. And now Denial looking for the transition downfield.
Denial are doing better this series, or this game rather, passing the ball to players who have just naturally found themselves upfield. A lot of teams that want to know how to pass better, the first thing you want to look out for is when players are naturally upfield for whatever reason. You know, maybe they just went for an aerial and they got beaten to the ball and they land upfield. Hey, if you're in defense, you could try pass it to them. Maybe a 50-50 happens and your teammate loses. Well, what do you know? He's upfielded the ball. You can pass it to him, perhaps. But the player who just landed upfield needs to be aware of that. So sometimes you got to call it. As you play more with people, they become more used to that kind of thing. Tarzos nearly in an awkward position there. He was creeping forward in defense. I feel like that was the biggest weakness that they had when Flipside scrimmed them. So from watching those scrims, the back post defense of Alpha Sydney was exploited several times.
A lot of missed touches followed after clears.
It's just about good enough for Lethamir. Not the best hit though by Tarzos again. Tarzos knows that if he goes for a passing play off the backboard in that previous attack, he is giving his last man, who is Jake in that position, a decision. The decision is aggress the ball and be at risk of getting beaten to it, and then the counterattack is wide open for denial, or don't go for it and try and intercept the clear. So if he wants to give Jake the best possible chance of winning the race to the ball and indeed making the best decision in that situation, he wants to put it pretty much above the near post, because the ball is going to naturally clear itself if he puts it to the far post, which is what happened. He kind of took away the option from Jake to attack the ball because it was an unscorable angle. The defense knows that. The defense, and I'm sure Denial did know. If they know that, they're not going to panic and go up for it too early. Look at that bump by Corrupted, that was so sick. Really well done. Bump goals are far safer to go for when the ball's grounded like that, because Lethamir shooting from the ground, even if it does get saved by a miraculous jump and clear by the defender, then Lethamir's going to recover fast enough anyway. What advantages do I think Batmobile has? I spoke about that earlier, but it's mostly just precision of your shots. And like the adaptability that you have mid-aerial.
You'll see that they'll get scored on 2-0 now for Denial. They will be increasing their lead to 1 game.
Have I been in the doctor lately? No, but I only got this cold like on the Friday. Well, I only started showing symptoms last Friday, so I'll be fine. I'm eating plenty of spicy food, drinking lots of water, taking lemon sip. I'll go for a drink after the series, because I'm talking a lot, so it's bringing my cough out. Yeah, it's true. Every team that won RLCS so far used a sub throughout the season at some point. Flipside used Jacer in Group Stage Season 2, and they won both series with them.
This is a very, very even matchup right now.
Do I think casting was more biased than usual? Lawler literally groaned when Rogue went out. I think that casting was affected this season by the crowd. And what I mean by that is the casters can hear the crowd, and if the crowd aren't cheering, it's harder to get hyped. But that's something you can learn. So sure, yeah, the casting would have sounded more biased because the crowd is a little bit more biased as well. So caster, that's something every caster can improve on for sure.
And they kept G2 out of LAN, which means that everyone's going to be looking at them as, how did you manage to pull that off? We should definitely not totally underestimate you, but at the same time, throughout...
Can you give a heads up to what happened to F3 from watching other games that seemed to massively underperform? Well, I'll be reviewing their games, so I'll probably talk about that then.
Those stats that we were talking about before the match were stats that they put up.
Do you think G2 staying together was the right thing? Absolutely. They nearly qualified for the previous line. They should have qualified.
Stats and be like, oh, their numbers are bigger, so that means they must be better, but they're different pools.
Yeah.
So it's all
Jesus seemed like a solid competitive player. Yeah, he is. He's good.
Alpha Sydney got so much on their plate here.
Are all teams going to scramble their lineups? I don't know. I'm sure something will change. What is Diamond 2 as a Season 3 rank? If I recall, Diamond 3 is previous Grand Champion. So Diamond 2 is probably Super Champion last season. Alright, so this is where Alpha Sydney's LAN experience comes into effect, because they have already played and won 2 LANs in Australia before this point. So they've almost played more LANs than anyone else at the tournament. In fact, has anyone at the RLCS played more LANs than that? I guess that there's some small LANs in America that players might have played.
Still the siege continues here. Leth with the shot, Jake with the block. 1,000 times already. Jake's defense.
Am I mad because I got the predictions wrong? No, never. Am I mad because Flipside beat it? I'm not mad. I'm disappointed, but I'm not angry. Oh, what a save. That's really smart by Jake. I love the light touch there. He just took 2 players out of the game with about 10 boosts to his name, so really well done. I think Jake stepped up the most this tournament for Alpha Sydney. Definitely never seen him play so well. Drippe was probably underperforming, but oh, the accidental fake by Sad, but he had no boost, so he couldn't do anything about it. Yeah, Drippe underperformed, but only because he did so well online. He was like the standout player for Oceania. Oh, bar down again.
To try and finish it off, does not make the contact he's looking for. The back pass to Drippe from Torsas.
Don't stop making YouTube. I don't know why John Salmon and Woofless have more subs than me. Well, they have more subs because Woofless has been on YouTube for years, and he was in a much bigger game. And he was very popular and successful in a much bigger game, and they made a transition, and they were the best at what they do. They still are probably the best at what they do, which is just making a casual, fun, let's have fun with Rocket League series, so that's why. The audience for casual content is also much bigger than the audience for the kind of content I make. Great pass by Torsas. Great dribble by Jake. This is not easy to do with the Dominus, but the side flip is perfect in this situation, because all he needs is height. The ball's already moving fast enough. All he needs to do is get it over Corrupted. Corrupted should just challenge. Corrupted really needs to man up there. Any good player is going to put that bar down. Am I talking about F2? Yeah, talking about Woofless and John Salmon, who, by the way, I did have a chance to meet at RLCS. They're both really nice guys. Also, the fact that the majority of the players and other people that I know at the event are too young to drink meant that, like when I was at the after party, I was hanging out with F2 and the other older players mostly. And yeah, F2, they're really chill. Meet Mike as well, not just Rob and John. I could speak more to it if you guys wanted to. Oh my goodness, Lethmir, what was that? But I really feel like F2 should be more formally included in the event. Like, if it was me who is running RLCS, I would probably offer to fly out people like F2 in exchange for doing an official meet and greet, promoting the event on their channels, and monetary compensation. I would like fly them out, give them a hotel and monetary compensation for their time, in exchange for like a little bit of promotion and an official meet and greet. So I don't know why that's not a thing in Rocket League, personally. Something that I would do as well, if like, for people like Jazer, or I think my own like audience, like you guys, are really intertwined with Rocket League esports. Like you probably won't find a channel that has more crossover with Rocket League esports than my channel, just because of the type of content that I make. It's a great job by Corrupted. Well done by Sad as well. Again, hesitation in defense. Defender's just going to man up and throw himself at that ball. Playing reactive defending from inside your own box is almost never the right thing to do. Drippe should just go for that earlier, no hesitation.
moment he saw how much space he had, he knew that goal was his. Well, so long as he didn't mess up.
John Simon said he lives 20 minutes from the world turn. Yeah, he does. So I guess for him it wouldn't matter, but I mean, I still think he should be probably like paid, given a hotel if he wants one, to what do you call it? To promote the event, do an official meet and greet.
Corrupted G dealing again with somebody in net.
Yeah, James Watt. That's true. Yeah, it's good. I think RLCS is moving in good directions with the inclusion of personalities. But yeah, the main thing is communication. When it comes to like working out how much people, personalities, casters, talent, anything, anyone who's related at all to an event as big as RLCS, to find out how much to include them, you got to talk to them. And I think that's something that Psyonix and RLCS have lacked in the past. Excuse me. Hey, Infinity is like huge. Thanks for the 9 months, by the way. I appreciate that. And also Finn186, I didn't give you a shout out. Thank you for the sub. Sorry, yeah, I'm feeling. Don't worry, I've just got a bit of a cold, guys. But I'll be fine. Sorry for the tangent. Like, I could speak about that topic for a long time. It's something that affects me very, very directly. But as for this game, Alpha Sydney and Denial both making the same misplay defensively, not challenging a dribbler early. And then Alpha Sydney scored the way that they like to score, just a fast aerial from close range.
But the main thing I see from them that's keeping them from making these such higher games.
It's clear to me that Denial wanted Alpha Sydney to misplay and they just wanted to counterattack them. They were hoping that Alpha Sydney would leave holes for them to exploit, but Alpha Sydney did a good job. They didn't really leave like a massive amount of holes to exploit. Can I get the replay files suspecting instead of the VOD? I don't really want to, I like doing it like this.
As the day progresses, as their nerves calm, the hands stop shaking, the sweat, they can dry off a little bit.
Jason, were you the first to come up with me on the caster desk? Well, personally, I can't say answer that, but yeah, James Watt talked to me about it, so I appreciate James Watt. He's a good guy.
Wouldn't have no idea what to do, but right now they're holding on, and we'll go to Game 5. At this point, James Bot's got to be.
Why do players on stage wear headphones underneath headphones? Well, they've got like the actual headphones, and then they're wearing sound cancelling, like a white noise as well, just to try and give them less of a distraction from the crowd. Who's my favorite caster out of the ones that actually casted the games?
That's how you want to play, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see how it is.
For RLCS this time, Season 3, Shogun and Carpet. Shogun and Carpet. That's just my personal preference.
Jake out towards Drippe. Again, neutral kickoffs. They fix those kickoffs so quickly here. Sad Junior downfield, Lethamyr to try.
Oof.
Take a shot.
Again, pass is open. No way. I don't remember that goal. That's pretty funny.
You can see the respect is there.
See, the Sad Junior could have passed out to Lethamyr. Corrupted just a little bit too slow again. But there you go. OCE whiffs coming in clutch. We see a goal from a miss. Probably something that OCE are better than anybody else.
Wasn't a great place to be in either way.
You talk to Axel Toss for long. He loves to talk about the tactical whiffs. That one there, Drippe's.
Yeah, Caster's picking up on it as well.
Scoring.
Another tactical whiff from Drippe this time.
Here's Johnny.
Hey, Panda Mickrai, Arise. Gee, Panda, I don't know. Thank you for subbing. I tried. I can't read. You guys have such difficult names.
Back towards his teammate Drippe, who puts it back.
Well done by Drippe, good recovery. They're just playing keep away a lot of the time. They're doing really well. Like, look at the possession differential.
What do an elephant and a zebra have in common? The trunk apart from the zebra.
What?
But Jake shuts it down at the midfield.
That's probably the worst joke I've heard all week. It's terrible. Thank you though, Marked King, for that awful joke.
Right now, Alpha Sydney is doing just that, continuously clearing it. The ball
Yeah, Turbo Pulse is the new over zero. It's not like he's not wrong. Another tactical whiff again from Drippe. This one not working out so well.
Do you agree that Devo is a beanpole?
Yeah, Devo's definitely a beanpole. he's a beanpole for sure.
They're not ready for it, and they just have to deal with 50-50s.
Oh my goodness, my cough is getting worse.
And Jake set out towards Drippe. He has the opportunity. The shot goes high, but Torsa's up with the follow.
Well played. This is just Alpha Sydney at their best. This is what they love to do. Hit the ball. They love hitting the ball sideways. Drippe knows that. They love hitting the backboard. Torsos knows that he's going to have a free hit. Oh yeah, the keyboard mouse warrior. Torsos definitely one of the best keyboard mouse players in the world. The only keyboard mouse player to have a win at RLCS World Championship, so congratulations to him. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I had the pleasure of meeting Devo's dad this LAN. Met him on day one. He's a lovely guy. They both have the exact same accent. Very Liverpool. Very Liverpool.
Try and push this one through. 2:47 left to go. The 2-0 lead right now for Alpha Sydney in Game 5.
I'm the best keyboard player? I don't think so.
He gets the block. Lethamir's got the follow up, the transition. Wins that 50-50 shot towards net.
It's a good job turning there by I believe it was Drippe, just forcing the move from his opponent before it gets too close for the goalkeeper to react if he misses his challenge, which he did. Is Devo's dad a lamppost? I only saw Devo's dad sitting down. I don't think he's as tall as Devo is, if I recall. I don't think he's as tall as Devo is. Maybe I'm wrong. Is he? Devo, are you here? Remco, is Devo's dad as tall as Devo? I don't think he is. I talked to him a couple times, but he was sitting down both times. The camera really needs to change there. That's lacking for sure. Good shot by Lethamir though. Again, standout player for Denial in my opinion. He's up very early for that again. Devo's taller than his dad? Yeah, I thought so. I thought so, Turbo. Because I sat beside Devo's dad and we were about the same height, so I figured there's no way he's as tall as Devo. He's like 6'6" or something. I'm 6 foot exactly, which is like 183 centimeters for those of you working that. Yeah, just a big whiff on the wall. Big whiff on the wall. Torsos knew that the whiff was a possibility. If the whiff doesn't happen, he can just turn around, loop to the back post. If it does happen, he can shoot. So good choice by Torsos. Thank you, Mark King, for another 386.
Right now, Denial's got their work cut out for 30 left to go and down by 2 in Game 5.
How much of ND's winnings will Meister get? I mean, I don't really know. I don't know what they talked about, but I imagine for the LAN he'll get nothing. But there was a large portion of the prize pool that was for online. He'll probably get that.
Players go up too eager to take the shots, and Torsos will get the clear back away. Jake's got his work cut out for him as well.
Can we get me to be the next cameraman? I mean, I'm not really that. It's kind of a waste if I'm the cameraman. I want somebody to be better than me at camera work in Rocket League. Like, real talk. Can somebody please be better than me at camera? That would be nice. Oh, I saw this on Reddit. Check this out. This is a Psionics please moment for sure. On LAN, 4 ping. What is that? Excuse me. How is this not a bump? Corrupt is just like, you call that a bump? I'm out of here. Like, speaking about camera work in particular, the two things that are done the worst in, what do you call it? The two things that are done the worst. Good pass by Torsos, by the way. Perhaps he could have saved that if he just dodged earlier, hit it with the back of his car. But anyway, there's a theory in filmmaking that if you have a camera looking at a scene from a certain way, and somebody moves across the scene like this, and then you show the camera literally looking at them from the other direction, and you see them moving across the screen the other way, that's gonna like confuse the viewers, particularly in action scenes. Like if you have somebody running this way, and then the camera changes and they're running this way. It's really hard for the viewer to work out the layout of the land, what's going on, that kind of thing. It's just difficult to follow. Same thing is true with Rocket League, but the difference in Rocket League being that the ball is often the focal point. The players aren't the focal point. In films, the focal point are things that are moving around the shot, but the ball is always in the middle in Rocket League, and we can use that to our advantage as a spectator. Because if I know that a player is likely to have ball cam on, and I switch the ball to them, or I switch the camera to them, the ball is going to still be there. But that's more of a fallback than a rule. For me, when I'm on camera, I try to, like, let's say you got the 3-man rotation going in offense, the Weedham Girls classic. So somebody attacks the ball, it centers, someone else attacks the ball, it centers, third player attacks the ball, it centers. If you go 1, 2, 3 on the camera, you'll see people attacking the ball from the same angle. Very easy, even for new spectators to understand what's going on. And then by the time that the third person's gone in, you can go back to player 1, and you're seeing this constant offensive rotation, which is much more interesting to watch than 3 defenders. People always want to see the goals rather than the saves. If you can catch both, that's great. But the thing is that saves often look just as good from the shooter's perspective.
Tilts me to the max. I can't play more than about 5 games a week because it stresses me so much. And as a result, I play bad when I do play it. I'm Diamond 3. Any advice for how I can tilt less playing it?
The advice is pretty simple, just don't care about your rank. Remember, the rank is just a visual representation of your progression through a system. It's not how good you are. How good you are, it's how good you play any given game. But thanks Bubblegun for 4 months, I appreciate that, buddy. I've read the comments of my latest vid. Yeah, I don't care at all. I was just trying to help my buddy build his channel, that's all. But I was also in a very short time frame. I didn't have time to waste, so I was like being a little bit more savage than usual. Doesn't bother me though. It went well.
And here Alpha Sydney taking the win early on. Here we have an interview. Joey is going to be talking.
Do I think that there were more clears and passes at land because every team was good at blocking the ball? Nah, it's because people are just more nervous. They don't see the passes. We've got the shoulder-loving Joey once again. Joey getting so much criticism for touching players' shoulders.
What a stellar performance. That was incredible. That was so much fun to watch and such. First thought, as soon as it was over the first series here, what was your first thought?
As it was over? Yeah. I don't know, sick, nice, didn't lose, I don't know.
There you go, sick, nice. I like it. All right, so you were a
Is Joey awkward while interviewing? I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch most of the interviews. I tried to get out of the venue, get out of the main room, right before series were ending, because the security didn't like when I would get stopped by somebody looking for a picture or an autograph, like in the middle of the aisle, because then it blocks the aisle. So I was trying to make it to the lobby to chill, rather than what do you call it, the actual theater.
You guys, insane lines. You just brought this offensive onslaught.
What did I think of Northern Gaming's line performance? I thought they were the best team there, for sure. I knew they were going to be a team to beat day 3. I knew that was going to happen. Because backstage, they were flawless. They were really good. They did Dada MRL, thanks for the sub, by the way. Also, Internalized Depression, thank you for the sub as well. Should pop up, there we go.
Alright, bud. Well, this is a statement right now. I mean, this is the first series of the day of the tournament.
What's wrong with my voice? I've got a cold.
Statement for your region. Is there anything you'd like
yeah, I've got a pretty bad cold right now, but I'll do
right now.
I'm gonna review one more series today, then that'll be it for today's stream. I intend to review every single RLCS VOD between now. Maybe I won't do another one. My voice is kind of wrecked. I might go.
Where did James go?
Alright, so that's the end of that. That's the end of that one. Let me just turn this off. I'm thinking I should probably go. My voice is pretty ruined, but I do intend, like I said, to review every RLCS game before I go to Sweden a week tomorrow. So I have 7 days, including tomorrow, to do all the reviews. There's like 15 or something. It's more than 2 a day. But Yeah, I should probably, yeah, I'm thinking I should probably stop right now. I should probably stop right now. I was planning to do one more. I was planning to do 2 today, but I think I'll stop there because my voice is actually a lot worse than I thought it would be. It's probably for the best. But guys, I will review more. Thank you all for the support. I'm going to run some ads and then look for somebody to host as always. But yeah, I hope you guys who are new to VOD reviews enjoyed that. We got something like 100 subscribers today, which is insane. It's probably the most or the second most I've ever had in a single stream, but until tomorrow, I'll probably stream tomorrow. Until tomorrow, hopefully, if my voice is up to the task, I'll see you guys later.